Hi everybody, I'm Tony E at UIP Interface Brief, and it's been a long time since I've done a video of any kind, or specifically a live stream, I guess. Um, I frankly don't have a lot of time these days, a lot of time to spend on doing extra videos, labbing, helpful Cisco stuff. But I felt like I needed to do a video to put some things out there, to come clean about some things, and to further expose my journey and why I've been so quiet lately, and why it's been so tough to achieve success. Um, Cisco Live was a wild ride, so I want to kind of wrap that up as well. I haven't really been too outspoken about it. I released a video not too long ago with an interview I did with David Penaloza. It was awesome. Cisco Live was great, but other than that video, I really have been stayed pretty tight-lipped about it. I haven't um, I haven't made any wrap-up videos about it, but there are a couple of topics I want to kind of go over today. This is going to be a little bit of insight into my personal life and the struggles that we face, real struggles that we face, and how that affects our certification journeys. Because that's the path I'm on. That's the journey I'm in. That's my professional journey and my personal journey is a certification journey, and it's a weird balance, right? Um, in fact, I had a conversation with my wife today about how do I move forward? You know, how do I move forward with the family and studying and everything, and how hard that's going to be. Um, but it's about having that conversation, and that's something we haven't had in a while, and it's been very tough. But I got a couple of things to talk about here. I want to talk about Cisco Live. I want to talk about my nightmare I had last night. I had a terrible nightmare that it didn't spring me up out of bed, but I kind of woke up this morning and was like holy crap, was that real? And thinking like, what does this mean? And so I went down the rabbit hole of dream interpretations. I don't know if anyone's ever looked those up, and take it with a grain of salt, right? But I'm going to take mine with a grain of salt. I'm going to take mine at face value, rather, my dream interpretation. And I'm going to discuss that. I want to talk about depression. Um, for a period of time, I've been really depressed. And I haven't been too outspoken about it. I talked to some folks at Cisco Live about it, and I don't know, maybe it was helpful for somebody there, and that's kind of why I want to bring that forward to a more public group, and hopefully maybe one day someone will watch this and it will be beneficial for them as well. I want to talk about burnout and what that means. And then I want to talk about new car, new baby, new projects at work. I mean, life doesn't stop for your certification journey. It goes on. It's tough. So anyhow, Cisco Live was awesome. It was even a better experience than my very first Cisco Live. So I had an absolute blast. Um, on my first Cisco Live in Orlando, I did something called the sidewalk vlog, where I filmed myself walking to the campus and just kind of recap the day's events and activities and stuff. And I tried to do that this time, and then one of the times I botched the record button, and I was actually taking a picture instead of recording a video. And then the next time my phone died, and the battery it was just an absolute mess. I only got like 2 videos released, so I didn't really get to put out a lot of my Cisco Live updates. But I had an absolute blast. But I think there were two valuable points that I wanted to bring up in those videos that didn't get shared. One of them was. Um, So you go to multiple Cisco Lives. Do you sign up for the same classes each time, or rather the same talks? Do you sign up for the same talks every time? And what value does that have? After you've seen one troubleshooting OSPF talk, do you sign up for the same troubleshooting OSPF talk next year? And will you sign up for it a third year? What is there to gain from year to year to year? And I will say, specifically troubleshooting OSPF, troubleshooting EIGRP, which was Nick Russo and Peter Pollock, really phenomenal presenters, really good people, super knowledgeable, and those are definitely some talks you want to get in, even if you only do it once. But I did both of those twice. I did both of those twice because I like the presenters, and I want to be there to support them. And also, I was very happy to see that while there was a lot of material that carried over from year to year, there was also some new material in there, and that new material, kept me learning. I'm always learning something new. And even though I saw that talk a year before, even though I saw it a year before, I didn't remember all of the details. I didn't learn everything. Definitely, these talks are you sit in it for an hour or 2 hours, however long those talks are. You definitely don't retain all 2 hours of knowledge. You retain a couple of cool bullet points while you're there, because as soon as that's done, you're going to another talk where you're going to retain only another 2 bullet points, right? The best way to consume that is post-conference, is actually to download those videos and get those videos, and or stream them or watch them or however you consume them. That's the best way to do it. And I did that with Peter Pollack's Troubleshooting EIGRP and Nick Russo's Troubleshooting OSPF. And even though I signed up for both of those talks for a second time, I still learned new things. So there is value. There really is value in seeing the same talks more than once. I can't say that for all of them, but I assume the presenters are there because they're good at presenting the material and because their material is rich with knowledge, right? They just don't take anybody off the street and say, hey, talk about this for an hour, right? It's rehearsed. There's good slide decks. There's great information. And normally you sign up for the things you're interested in. So if you're interested in something, you're going to want to see it probably more than once. So my takeaway on that is it's okay to sign up for the same talk more than once. There's always more to learn about the subject. I say do it. If you're there for a specific purpose, like I know a lot of people that were there at Cisco Live this year who were there specifically to talk about ACI and to see all of the ACI talks and to talk about all the engineers and the professionals, the people who write the code and all the developers and everything about ACI, then normally they're put there sort of by their company. And they're there to try and gain knowledge and engineering experience and contacts so they can better leverage themselves, their professional career, probably, and the companies who put them out there. And I think that's another valuable way to attend Cisco Live. I'm very fortunate that my Cisco Live experience is largely one of my own choosing. I get to go to the talks I want, I get to see the people I want, I get to participate how I want, and that is the value for me because I really love the people of the event. But you make Cisco Live what it is. I signed up for the same talks 2 years in a row, and I absolutely loved seeing the talks again. I absolutely did. It's like going to a comedy show, and then the next year, the same comedian comes around. If you like the material, you go to the comedy show again. He's got a couple of recycled jokes. Sure, they're still in there, but he's got new material too. So it's really up to you and the experience you're going for. But for me, it was definitely worth it. So if that's something anyone else is planning on doing or teetering on the idea, should you sign up for the same talks, I say go for it. I want to talk next about my depression. This was something I haven't been very outspoken about. In fact, I haven't even let most of my family know about it. I just mentioned it to my wife, I think, even this morning when I was describing my dream and we were sort of trying to dissect my dream and what it meant. And I said, I fell into a deep depression and I really just swallowed those feelings and that emotion and didn't share that with a lot of people, even my own family. And I fell into a depression after I failed my CCIE lab attempt. When I was at Cisco Live, a lot of people were asking me, hey, Tony, I was very excited to see and meet all these people. And, I shared most of my journey. And a lot of people were very excited to find, to come and ask me, how's the CCIE studies going? How are you doing? How are things? And I go, well, I really haven't been studying that much. I've really been focusing on some other things. I hope to get back into it. And I found myself admitting to people who essentially were perfect strangers, people I only know on Twitter, like not even like my close family and friends, but admitting to them, it just felt so natural to talk to them about admitting that I fell into a deep depression. After failing my CCIE lab, I fell into a deep depression, a depression where I just didn't see the reason to continue. I just didn't see the value in it. And I couldn't find my own motivation. And people would ask me, my family would ask me, my friends would ask me, people on Twitter or my work, how's studying going, on the weeks following my failure of the CCIE? And I go, studying's going okay. It's not as prevalent as it was. But the truth of the matter is, I was struggling to even like open a lab. I was struggling to just find that motivation again. And it's hard to communicate that, right? Because, a lot of people just say, hey, when you hit the ground, you just got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go again. But for me, it was just, it cut a little bit deeper than that. Everybody's different, and everybody's story is unique, and everybody's struggle is unique, and everybody achieves success in a different way. And for me, it cut really deep, and it put me in a depression. Hey, Carlos, man, love to have you on stream, man. Thanks for joining me, even if you're on vacation at the moment. I really appreciate it. But yeah, my depression, it sucked. It sucked, and it took a long while. But one of the things that helped to pick me up was meeting all of the people at Cisco Live, was meeting the community, and so many people asking about it and returning a compliment to me that said, hey, man, I'm sure you'll get it. You just keep at it. But saying that by watching my journey helped them in some way, helped to inspire them. Hey, Tiffany, what's going on? Glad to have you on stream. Awesome. But that hearing my story, following my journey helped them, either help them achieve CCNA, CCNP, or help them just stay motivated in whatever they were doing. Even though my end result was that I failed, by helping others actually made my failure worth it. And it was actually today, I was talking with a friend of mine over in the Land Tamer Discord server, Luke. We were just chit-chatting about studies. He was asking me, how are things going? And I just said, well, I really don't have an excuse, but I really haven't been studying lately. Even though I have my CCIE lab exam paid for and a date scheduled, I really haven't been putting my time in. And it's because I'm still a little gun shy on it, and I don't know why. Again, maybe this is just leftover depression. Maybe, hell, I don't know what it is. Motivation. I think maybe I'm afraid to fail again. I failed pretty bad. And, but it was talking to him, and he made a comment that, hey, watching my journey and doing my streams and sort of being part of it and putting my journey out there, that it helped him sort of realize what he's capable of and pushed him to try and achieve his certifications and move forward on his journey. And that made me kind of like take an external look at myself and what I was doing. And I think I realized that in my failure, I've helped other people achieve success. And for me, that's a small win. It's not a win for me personally, right? I'd love to have that CCIE plaque on the wall behind me. But sort of morally and like in my soul, knowing that I got a couple of people out there who really benefit from what I'm doing is really, really awesome. If I kept this up for the rest of my life and just kept helping people and encouraging them and inspiring them, then whether or not I achieve CCIE is just a personal thing. My life would have been meaningful and fruitful to help other people achieve. And I guess I didn't realize what I was doing here with putting myself out here, putting my journey out here and doing all of my live streams and all of that crazy crap that I've been doing. I didn't realize the effect that I was having. And it's this that has made me sort of pick myself back up. And I really kind of want to get back into labbing. I want to continue this journey, right? Hell, I think I can continue it all the way till February, right? When Cisco wants to change the format of their test. Hey, TCP Dump 101, man, glad to have you on stream. And Christopher, awesome. Thank you for joining me on stream. I know I'm just out here rambling, but I just kind of wanted to get some insights and some stuff off my back. So following my CCIE failure, I fell into a real depression, and by getting feedback from the community has helped pick myself back up. Actually, leaving Cisco Live, I was most recharged to actually get back out there and do something. Now, while I have good intentions and I feel like the motivation is just at arm's length away, I still haven't captured that motivation and allowed it to drive me to be successful. Hey, network bruh, Tony, thanks for coming in here. I really appreciate it. You are out there inspiring tons of people with your videos. You're giving a lot of help to a lot of people out there working on their certifications. You keep doing what you're doing, man. It is awesome, awesome stuff. My motivation is just outside of my reach right now. I see where it is and I just need to capture it and bring it in. But in my personal life, I have about 52 days left before my third child is born. And throughout my studies, throughout my labbing, throughout my lab attempts, we all knew that, well, my family, my wife and I knew that that this was coming, and we were hoping that I would be all wrapped up with this journey before the baby came. So that made me put off a lot of stuff in my personal life so that I could focus on CCIE. My wife, my kids, my family, my friends, everyone allowed me to push them away so that I could focus on CCIE because that's what I needed to do. That's how I needed to achieve success. Everyone's journey is different. However you study is different. Whatever works for you works for you. But for me, I needed to push everybody out so that I could focus on the CCIE. And I failed. And so what that meant is after my failure, we had made plans to be a family again and start bringing things in. And I had to do housework. I've had stuff here at my house that I've been putting off for over a year while I've been doing this CCIE journey. And now with a new baby coming, I have to start getting this stuff ready at my house. I got to get some electric done. We had to get the house painted. I got to do home repairs, regular homeowner crap that needs to be taken care of that I was putting off. So now I'm trying to take all that stuff and get it off of my plate so that I can once again push everybody out so that I can begin studying again. And while my time is ticking, I shouldn't even be here doing this live stream and chit-chatting with anybody. I should be studying, right? But I just kind of want to put it out there because it might help somebody else. And again, this isn't just for achieving a CCIE. That's my own personal thing. But I feel like the inspiration that I can provide to anybody and any way that I'm helping is worth more than a little plaque that sits behind me. But I'm going to try like hell to still get that plaque because that's what I want to do. By helping other people, you help yourself, man, not just mentally, emotionally, knowledge as well. I appreciate that, man. Really, really, I do. So with my CCIE my study strategy, that almost everyone was a witness to what I was doing because I aired most of it. I burned out. I was burning a fire that was hot. And what happened is after I failed, I took some time to step back and my fire burned out and that was it. And I didn't have the motivation and I didn't have what I needed to fire it back up again. Burnout is real. I don't know what is the best way to approach studies. I don't know. Everyone has a unique style. Everyone's got a unique journey. In fact, I asked my wife this morning when I was sort of exposing myself a little bit about my studies and my depression. Everyone always talks about this work-life balance. I don't know how many of you out there have been working on a work-life balance. But I was asking myself really, and I was asking my wife, do we ever really have a balance? Or are we just pushing stuff off from, we push this off so we get balance for a moment. And then we push this off so we get balance for a moment. Then we push this off so we get balance for a moment. Does anyone ever really have a true work-life balance? Or are we always just sort of trying to right the ship? You know what I mean? Is it always just tilting one way or the other and we're just trying to correct it? Because I feel like I have never had like a work-life balance or a study-life balance. I feel like I'm on a ship and either I'm doing all studies and nothing else, or I'm doing all family and no studies, or I'm doing all work and no family. I've never managed this balance. And I feel like I'm always just bailing water out of one side of the ship to the other. For me, that's the way it is. And I don't know how to achieve a work-life balance, but I know that's what I need. Well, I speculate that that's what I need. I don't know for sure. But with everything I have going on right now, I need to make sure I pay enough time to my family, my wife, who is definitely, if anyone's ever been through a pregnancy or been with a pregnant spouse before, during the final months, they really need help doing some things. And here, my wife is in the final months, and I'm getting ready to start studying again when I know she's going to need me. So we're going to have to work this balance, and I know it's going to be super, super hard. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I appreciate you being open about your journey. Tiffany, thank you for always being so loyal and always giving me awesome, positive feedback. It helps. I need the positive feedback just as much as everybody. So I want to thank everybody for always giving me, feeding me back the positivity. I really do need it. Carlos, yeah, yin and yang. Christopher, riding the waves, yeah. A balance that's always moving. That's right. It is like balancing and always moving at the same time. TCP dump. I've started setting calendar reminders, forcing myself to follow them throughout the day for balance. No matter what I'm doing, I have to follow through. Maybe it'll help you too. Maybe it will. I'm going to make a little note of that right now. One thing I'll always subscribe to is I'll always try new things. Someone recommends a new way of doing something. You guys remember when I was trying to study in the mornings? Someone said, hey, you should start studying in the mornings. We've had better success than studying in the night. Okay, so I started studying in the mornings. It didn't feel any better to me. So, but I'll always try something new. So calendar options, calendar reminders, I'm in it. I'll give it a shot. Burnout is really real. I burned out, and I'm trying to get that fire lit, and it is because of you guys. It's because of the community, the networking community. Guys, this networking community that we have is like none other. It is so special. It is very cool. And for anyone who's been to Cisco Live, Carlos, you know what I'm talking about. For anyone who's been to Cisco Live, you know that that community is really strong, right? Everyone supports one another, and there's nothing but positivity there. And that is something that I think we have as, I don't know, I feel like it's very unique. I'm not part of other communities, you know? I'm part of the networking community. And I think that is so unique that we have, and I hope that I can project positivity into the community and that I can get some back. I'm already getting some back, and it's helping recharge my batteries. Now, let me tell you about this nightmare, because this nightmare, listen, this nightmare scared the shit out of me. Without trying to go into great detail describing the setting, I was, if you can imagine, like a single family home with a small deck off of the back. Sort of, you go out a sliding glass door, there would be a deck there, a wooden deck. Not far off the deck would be a tree. And the deck isn't real high off the ground. It's about 3 or 4 feet off the ground. Okay. I was outside and I was talking with 2 family members, and I started hearing some rustling in the leaves of the tree above. The tree kind of overhangs the deck a little bit, and I hear some rustling in the leaves of the tree, and I look up, and there's a giant fucking snake charging out of the tree, charging at me and our family, and I take off running. I take off running because I'm scared. I take off running and I say, watch out, there's a snake. You know, I'm trying to alert them, but I'm already off the deck. See you later. I'm out of there. And it kind of just scared me. I'm like, you know what? That's kind of an unusual dream for me. I don't normally have these kinds of things. Nightmares aren't a thing that happen to me. And so I looked up what that means. And actually, let's see if I can pull up what that actually means. I looked it up this morning, and I don't remember what site I was on. Oh, I was on this site. Here, let's see if I can do this. Nope. I failed. But I can fix it. There. Okay. Snakes commonly symbolize fear or transformation. Dreaming of a snake is a sign you are afraid of something in your waking life, or it could be a forewarning of changes to come. And I tell you what I'm actually afraid of. I'm afraid that every day that I haven't studied my CCIE creeps closer and closer and closer. And I'm not any closer to passing it. And this is a big deal for me. This is something I've set a goal for myself. And you know, that I have to achieve. I didn't graduate high school and I didn't go to college. So this is my form of success. And if I don't achieve this, then I feel like I haven't had any real success. You know, I guess, a plaque on the wall is just a plaque on the wall and it shouldn't mean much. But maybe it's because I don't have any other plaques. That maybe because this one means so much to me. I really feel like this is the fear. This is the fear that this dream is talking about. It is certainly unusual. I wouldn't have brought it up if it was something that happened all the time, but this was an unusual thing. And this caused me to call my wife in the morning. She had left for work already and say, honey, I had this crazy dream. I don't know. I need some help breaking this thing down. And I think really I have a lot of things to fear. I got a new baby on the way. I got to go buy another car. My car's all rattling when I drive it and everything. I got to get the car before the baby comes. I got to make sure it has enough room for my whole family, all the kids and everything. It's a nightmare. Buying a car is not easy. For me, it's not easy. But anyhow, I think I'm scared. I think I'm scared of failing the CCIE again. I don't know. And it was just kind of a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for me to start to think I need to start doing things a little bit differently. That I need to not be afraid. And that was one of the things that I wanted to come out here and do on stream, which is just say, I've had the best results in my entire career and studying when I come on here and I talk with folks. Look at the great chat we have here. Family man myself. The family needs you, Carlos. Guided meditation, help with focus and burnout, dude. Thank you, Christopher. Carlos, I just started to get into InfoSec communities, but not in person yet, and it's pretty good so far. Just uncharted for me. Awesome. Yeah, Carlos, I kind of came from InfoSec communities before I joined full-on networking. So it's neat that you're kind of going the other way. So enjoy yourself, man. It's a great crowd. There's a lot of awesome conferences to go to in InfoSec. You make defining your own success. That's true. That's true. Find one thing, however small, and be proud of it. Different is good. Yeah. Trust the process. Hey, thanks for joining me, man. I recommend listening to David Goggins. Yeah, a lot of people have been recommending David Goggins. I have one of his books on Audible. What is it called? I think my Audible subscription has lapsed, actually. He has a bunch of podcasts here on YouTube. It has changed my life. Definitely. Let me put that in the recommendation also. Can't Hurt. That's right. Oh, Can't Hurt Me. I think that... No. Let me see. Hang on. Maybe that's what it was. Hang on. I'll look it up real quick. Yeah, that's what it was. That came as highly recommended from a buddy of mine. Failing is only failing if you give up. So true. Absolutely. And that's what I'm here to say is I haven't given up. I'm not fully back into the swing of things. I still need to finish patching a hole in the drywall, painting the wall. I'm trying to get all of my house projects done, all of this crap that I put off for so long while I was studying. I need to take care of these things so that when I push people back, when I push everyone away like this, and I build my barrier, my space that I can study in, that I know that when I do that, everything is taken care of out there. I know that I got people to cover me. I know that the house is taken care of. I know the yard's taken care of. I know the cars don't need being worked on. It's, I don't know if it's the right way. I don't know if anybody else does it that way. I know a lot of people just say when they do CCIE stuff, they just go into a bubble and do it. And I've heard other people say, like, you can't be that way. You have to allow yourself to be available for your family. And I just don't know how to do it. But it forced me into a depression that I think I'm nearly over. I'm ready to get back into studying. I'm looking at a new lab package that I want to get into, the Jaziri package. It has come highly recommended from a lot of folks. Jaziri.com. Let's see if I can pull this sucker up. This guy come highly recommended with a lot of pre-built labs, specifically for CCIE studies. And here, I'll put that over there. This guy has some really awesome labs, the Mega Config Lab, Mega T-Shoot. This is what I think I'm going to get into. He's got a good lab package somewhere. Here's a $700 package. Comes with a bunch of stuff. The CCIE stuff is not cheap, guys. It is high dollar stuff. But I've done the Cisco 360 stuff. I'm not an expert at it. I've been through the INE workbook. I'm not an expert at that. But for me, I'm getting a little bit of burned out on the materials. I can't keep doing the same labs over and over and over and over. I'm kind of tired of it. So I kind of want some new material. And I think this is going to be my new material that'll get me through my next study phase. So, guys, that's all the insights I have. I just wanted to be honest with everybody and honest with the community that I've really struggled really hard, and I'm not fully back yet. But it's because of members of the community that have told me that I can help a little bit and that I've helped a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? Exposing my failures might be better than exposing my successes. And so this is me sort of coming out of one of my lowest points in my certification journey. I never failed a Cisco test other than the CCIE tests. They're really fucking tough. So it's the way I do study. I have to be alone and locked away when I'm studying. I mean, a lot of people do it that way. I don't know if it's the best way. I don't know if it's the only way. But it's certainly my approach. I can't allow myself to get distracted, especially the CCIE labs. If you guys go back and watch some of my old streams, the CCIE labs go for 5 hours. And I've streamed more than that. I think I have a 9-hour stream out there. It's a long time. And it has been I tried to do it where kids would come in the room and sort of interrupt me and they need lunch, or someone spilled something, or I need to go fix something, or someone's got their bike stuck or something, all these different things. These interruptions are just killer when you're in the middle of a CCIE lab prepping. But anyhow, so that's my Cisco Live wrap up. My Cisco Live wrap up was, if you want to see a talk more than once, go for it. There's always more to learn, and it's always great to see those great presenters deliver their best material. It's really, really awesome. I talked the truth about studying. My studying hasn't been going well. I haven't been studying lately. I've been taking care of so much stuff at home. I've actually had a lot on my plate, and these have been my small successes, my small victories, is taking all of these small tasks off of my plate. I got to get ready for a girl who's going to come live with us to be an in-home nanny. And so I got to get the house ready for that, and I got to get the car ready for that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, and that is stressful. There's just so much stress. And also, new car, new baby, new work projects. Guys, I'm working on an awesome work project that I can't talk about, and it is awesome. And when I get involved with an awesome work project, some of you out there will know this. When you get involved with an awesome work project, it consumes you and you don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? It takes up all of your time. You think about it when you're not at work. You're checking emails. You're labbing things up in whatever form. You're labbing things up. You're researching. You're watching videos. You're reading. You're learning. You're completely consumed by this work project because it is so cool. And that's where I'm at right now. And it's just so hard to separate work from personal life, and then to carve my personal life up into study time and family time. It is so hard. I don't have the silver bullet for that. I don't have the greatest advice to give to everybody on how to do that. But that is what I find the hardest. Understanding OSPF, BGP, EIGRP, IPv6, these aren't the hardest things to learn. The hardest things to learn is how do you split your time when you have really intense things to go through and still come out on top in all family, personal, work, certifications, how to come out on top on all of them. Make a list of the things that you need to do, TCP dump. It'll look intimidating, but face them. Remind yourself how you feel when the list is empty. One step at a time. You got this, brother. Thank you so much. Actually, I kind of just started making lists the other day. I started using the stickies, the Windows stickies that you leave on your desktop, just by a way to track my tasks at work. It sounds so simple, but I never needed to do that before. I never needed a paper list. I just take care of things. But now I have so much going on. I really enjoy it. And I think this is what you're getting at here. I think this is what you mean. I really enjoy sort of striking through that item on the list, really getting it off the list, right? It feels good to have that. And then when you look at your sheet, whether it's a digital sticky note or an actual piece of paper, and you have each item and all these lines struck through each one, it's a good feeling to know like you did that. Whatever it is, mopping the floor, washing the windows, do an hour of study, do 30 minutes of reading. I was going to say 15 minutes of reading, but we all know 15 minutes of reading isn't enough to really learn anything. You have to do 30 or more. 30 minutes of reading, 30 minutes of labbing, whatever you're going to do, and you strike through all of those in the list. I guess I need to do that for my IE. I guess you got a good point. I'm taking notes from you guys. You guys have given me a lot of good feedback today. So this is just simple stuff, right? Making lists. Yeah, I know how to make a list. I've done it before, but it's not part of my regular routine. So I'm taking feedback from you guys, and I'm going to try and incorporate this. Calendar events. David Goggins. I can definitely put that on my Audible. And making lists. I think this is great feedback. So the only thing I can say, if there's one takeaway for anyone here, if you find yourself in a depression or in a burnout, those are not the same thing. They're separate things, but sometimes they happen at the same time. And for me, they did. I was burned out and I was depressed. Reach out to the community, and maybe not the community as a whole if you don't want to. Find that one person or two people in the community that you trust and you can send a private message and start the dialogue. I've definitely done that. I've been the soundboard for a couple of people in the community, and I'm happy to help. And there are a couple of people out there who have been the soundboard for me when I needed them. I didn't contact anybody when I fell into this depression, and I should have, because I could have righted the ship. I could have balanced my ship a lot earlier. And it wasn't until getting some messages, having a direct message with someone today, that sort of made me realize, you know what, there's more to it. There's more to it than just a plaque and just a number. That's just a personal goal, but there's more to it than that. And that's what I kind of needed to realize, because I guess I was just focusing on that loss, that one loss of not passing the lab and not achieving my certification. But I wasn't looking at all of the wins that were around that loss. Does that make sense? Around that loss were a bunch of successes for me personally and for people that have gained something from my journey. And that was rewarding. That was rewarding enough to help me see the light. And talking to my wife this morning too, most people should have an open relationship with their spouses regarding communication, and we do, but this depression was just something that I chose to swallow and not expose my family to, just because we have enough going on, and that was a mistake. I should have communicated it earlier. I should have talked to her about it, and I should have talked to the community about it, and that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to make myself right with everybody so I can get all of this depression behind me and off my plate. I want it off because I want to start fresh with my CCIE studies. I got a couple of good tips from you guys, and I kind of know the direction I want to go in. So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to put everything out here so I could get it off my plate and I could start fresh. So guys, that's all the insights I have. I just wanted to share that with everybody because I've been pretty dormant and I haven't shared it with many people. And it helped me to talk about it today with a few people. So I thought, you know what, it might help someone else talk about their problem if they see me do it. And if that's the only great thing that comes out of this, then it has been successful. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope to come back on and do a semi-regular stream again, but I certainly want to focus on my studies and get that. So in a couple of weeks, actually this Sunday, my wife has arranged for my kids to go be babysat at their grandparents. I don't know if my wife's going to be home or if she's going to be out, but I'm dedicating the whole day to studying on this Sunday. I'm going to grab either, I don't care if it's new labs or old labs. I'm going to be here studying all day. If anyone wants to study with me, hit me up on Twitter. Say, hey, what are you studying on? We'll pull up a stream. We'll do something. I plan on studying all day. This Sunday will be my kickoff back into the lab everyday study schedule. Okay, that's what it's about. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. Chris, thank you so much. You're awesome. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. Thank you for helping me get out of my funk that I needed. And always reach out if you need anything. It's a great community of support. So thank you all for supporting me. And I hope that I can give you all positivity to achieve what you want to achieve. Thanks, everyone. See ya.